In the middle of nowhere, and probably out of time itself, a bunch of weird kids are getting together with one purpose: to figure out the definitive timeline of Jeff the Killer. If you're all about that, come join them in the border of Slumber, USA.
Shipping.
Will it sink like the Titanic?
Perhaps.
Hopefully so.
The real question is, who gets to sit on the door at the very end?
Has a Wattpad writer ever written someone not getting the person they were looking for?
I think not. But welcome to Board of Slumber USA, the podcast where we read Jeff the Killer stories and try to put them all in a single timeline because we have no life. And this is our Valentine's Day special!
Woo!
You might be wondering why we mentioned Wattpad. Well, oh boy.
Yeah.
How did I get here? Well,
If you haven't heard of Wattpad, there's a good chance you probably
consider yourself lucky.
consider. There's a good chance you don't hate yourself or the human race.
Yes. For those who don't know, Wattpad is a platform for young writers. Well, I mean, it's a platform for writers, but only young people use it.
Very young writers.
Very
It's,
young writers. Wait, who was that?
Wait a
Who was
second.
that?
What was that sound?
Oh, what? You didn't hear anything.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get stabbed in the knee again! No!
Oh God!
The NHS waiting lists are too bad!
The call's coming from inside.
Oh, what? Who's that?
Who is that?
Your time is up. Ha ha ha. It's me.
What? What is this?
I'm here to take over your podcast. Hi, my name's Danny. I made Clockwork like a couple years ago. What's up?
What?
What the hell?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got an actual iconpastic writer in our podcast by episode 4. Deal with it.
Yeah, I have regrets.
We're playing with the big boys.
Yeah.
That's real quality podcasting.
Really quality podcasting, everyone talking over each other, and we actually have a host.
We actually have a guest.
We actually have a guest, right? Fuck, I can't even speak English right now because I'm very nervous. So, Jesus, yeah, So, we're reading for this Valentine's Day special. We're reading a Wattpad story with the author of Clockwork. And, of course, that ship is Jeff X Clockwork. This is about to get fucking weird and uncomfortable.
Yes.
But when does
So-
it not?
Ah, my specialty.
So, of course, after this reading, we're gonna ask questions. So, for the people listening, if you want a short interview to the author, maybe you want it because you're curious, like, what is that people doing nowadays? Are they okay?
Are they
Maybe-
okay?
Okay.
No, I was just gonna do a typical where are they now? But you've just gone like, are they okay? Like,
Are they
I don't
okay?
know.
Like, oh, hey, thanks for coming on my podcast. Are you okay?
Are you being forced here against your will?
No, maybe. No.
Totally not, okay,
Yeah.
I swear. I don't have any... Oh, sorry, I dropped my ammunition. Sorry. Continue. Anyway, we're reading Amnesia. Actual title is Jeff X Clockwork Amnesia. Written by Mackenzie Fournier 26 in Wattpad.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thank you for your contribution.
Hi guys, I worked on this for a while and then I decided to put it on Hotpad. Hope you enjoy. Woo.
Woo.
Whoa.
I mean, it's the
Well,
kind of people that always say that.
Well, since I'm the voice of Jeff in this podcast, I guess I'll start reading.
I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah. Where am I? Jeff yelled. He looked around. He had no recollection. I can't speak.
Recollection.
Start the
Recollection.
line again. We are so fucking nervous right now. We have to start again.
All right.
Okay.
He
From
looked
the-
around. He looked around. He had no recollection of ever being here or where he was. He was out of breath and covered in blood. All he remembers is waking up on the pavement in a graveyard Ah, and there were a bunch of dead bodies that were brutally murdered.
No,
I mean, it's a graveyard.
no,
What did you
no,
expect?
no. Brutality murdered.
Brutality murder.
Oh, wait, see, brutality murder.
Oh shit. Jeff
After all.
Jeff from Mortal Kombat 11 confirmed.
Oh no.
He had looked in his hand. Okay.
What's in here?
What's in here? Cuts it open.
I can see his veins.
I can see my veins. He had a chef's knife clutched hard in his hand, leaving an imprint of where the knife said.
What?
Wait, the knife is talking to him?
Oh,
No, it's just-
Oh my god, it's a sign. It's a callback to Homicide Lou. Lou has a talking jacket. Jeff has a talking knife.
talking
Yes.
knife the killer.
Hey, Jeff, you want to go stab some people?
Yes! Let's do it!
Is this Soul Eater?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh my god, of course.
Oh.
Jeff woke up in Death City.
All he could make out was Jeff. That wasn't much help. Maybe
Wait,
somebody...
no, you gotta say probably all he can make out was Jeff!
Oh yeah, all he could make out was Jeff! That wasn't much help!
Thank you, Knife. You didn't help shit.
Maybe somebody knew him? So he walked for a little while in the pitch dark night. All yet illuminated the walk was some streetlights along the road.
So it wasn't pitch dark then?
Wait, isn't he in a graveyard?
It was dark, except it wasn't.
Except it wasn't. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. I don't see any. Before he could finish, he heard a terribly loud scream behind him.
Murderer! Murderer! Ah! A lady across the street screamed at the top of her lungs.
He ran over to her and covered her mouth. She was now squirming
I feel
violently.
good!
Please don't hurt me!
You guys think this is gonna be like from that scene of Mice and Men where Lenny covers that Curly's wife's mouth and breaks her neck by accident?
Oh my god!
Oh.
Jeff's Lenny. Can I tend the rabbits, George?
Tell me about the rabbits, Lou.
Tell me about the rabbits. She was now squirming violently, trying to kick him and scream, but her screams couldn't get through his hand. He whispered into her ear, making her even more terrified. If you don't stop trying to scream, I will slit your throat and find your family and kill them all in their sleep and bury you all in the same grave. So you can all burn in hell together. Jeff was surprised by what he had said, but it just came out with it without him even needing to think of it. It made him feel powerful and more superior.
The creepypasta master race.
The teenage killer master race. He felt her heartbeat slowly decline.
Oh my god, it is like the scene with Curly's wife.
Shit, did I actually kill her? Jeff thought. To his surprise, he had given her a heart attack from so much fright.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
You could have justified it by saying Jeff is just that strong. He's accidentally smothered her, or
Something.
If this had been like the scene from Mice and Men, I would have got it.
Am I a monster? Jeff.
You just said, if you don't stop screaming, I'm gonna murder you, your entire family, so we can all burn in hell. Yes, you are a monster.
Yes, they didn't mean to say that. It was just instinctive. He doesn't have his memories. He doesn't understand.
Why are you surprised after you say that?
Jeff looked at his hands covered in dry blood. They had a slight shaking to them. Dude, he's
this
so
is pretty
frightened.
anime.
He's literally shaking. His stomach started to grumble.
He then started to eat the body.
How can I be hungry after all that I've done today? Jeff thought to himself.
He's done one thing today.
You know, murdering people really gives you an appetite.
It's a workout.
Jeff then ate the knife.
Then they ate the knife.
The knife, because it was sentient, started going, "No, Jeff, no!"
Then he felt as if somebody was watching him. So he started to walk faster.
I get that feeling sometimes. You know, guys, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
And I got
don't
the privacy.
He heard rustling in the direction where he felt that somebody was watching him. So without thinking, again, he threw the chef's knife he still had on him from when he awoke earlier. He heard a slight whimper coming from where he threw the knife.
That was the whimper, by the way.
Followed by maniacal laughter. Then the stranger that was following him was walking out of the shadows with Chef's knife stuck in her shoulder.
The stranger who was following him. I'm sorry, I didn't shit on it last time because it was translated poorly from Spanish. But Christ, the grammar in this story is awful. It's a goddamn war crime.
I cannot talk about that because I really didn't notice it, but yes. I believe you.
Okay, whoever's voicing Clockwork, it's your time to
I mean, of
read.
course.
Your time is up to read.
Is it really you, Jeff? The stranger asked, pulling the knife slowly out of her shoulder, blood now running down her arm, completely unfazed that she has just been stabbed in the shoulder.
She's fine.
I mean, it's a creepypasta, of course.
Do I know you?
So Jeff
Oh,
asked, having a sexual attraction to the crazy hot girl standing in front of him.
wow, straight to the point.
I know you more than you think. Before you ask how I do, I'll show you your lost memories. She tried to lean in and do something, but before she could do anything, Jeff slowly pushed her back and had confusion written all over his face.
Oh my god,
love.
is Clockwork a Vulcan? Is she trying to do the mind belt?
Fine!
The mental
Jeff?
judge made her a Vulcan.
Oh my.
Jeff, do you not want to remember me or anybody? She asked, worried.
How does he know he has amnesia?
Fine!
Jeff said and waited for whatever was going to come. Right after he said that, she wrapped her arms around his shoulders and began to kiss him. He was surprised by what was happening, but he didn't want it to stop.
I know exactly what this is. In one of the old Superman movies, he erased Lois Lane's memory by kissing her so she would forget he was Superman. This is just a reverse. Clockwork isn't a Vulcan. She's a Kryptonian.
Oh my god.
Yes,
That's plain.
Is it the
That's
new-
plain degree nice.
so much.
The new season of Supergirl is really weird.
Oh my god. So he just went along with it. Their tongues were fighting for dominance the more they kissed.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I have heard that sentence before.
I'm just gonna
somewhere.
say this right here. I've read the entirety of Voice Box. So...
Oh my god,
It's
yeah.
all good. Don't even
That
worry.
sentence is there too. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm getting like PTSD.
The tongue's battle for dominance is like a description of kissing as old as time. It's pissing me off.
This.
I think it's interesting how this like serial murderer just like gets pushed against a wall and suddenly starts making out with like some girl he just stabbed in the shoulder. Like,
Yeah, I know.
That's how killing works.
Dude, he just got a rock hard boner whenever he murdered
Because he has
somebody.
a sexual attraction.
clockwork, more like cockwork, am I right?
Oh god.
Then he started to feel an intense stinging pain, starting from the outside of his lips to his cheeks. The girl pulled back slowly and started to give a devilish smile. She took out a handheld mirror and showed him his bloody cuts that extended from his mouth, that revealed his old devilish grin.
Oh my god, I look like a fish.
Oh no!
Is my nose.
Where the fuck is my nose?
Jeff, hey guys, my brother Jeff has no nose, so how does he smell? Awful.
Oh, my boy.
What are you doing here, Clockwork? How long have you been looking for me? Lastly, how did you find me?
Jeff asked, very confused, but also still surprised by the intense and very passionate kiss. I'm here because I missed you and Tiki Toby, and Ben said they thought they saw you in the graveyard, lying there. I yelled at them asking, why didn't you go check then? They just shrugged, and it was end quote, so I thought, okay.
No,
They just
it's like
shrugged.
this quote inside the quotes.
Oh god.
Good
Oh
writing.
god. They just shrugged, and I've been looking for you since I saw you leave a couple days ago, and you didn't come back. And lastly, I found you by luck because I saw all the disassembled bodies in the graveyard.
Disassembled body.
No, disassemble.
Some assembly
So I knew
required.
you were there previously, and then I heard a really loud scream yelling, murder! So I ran as fast as I could to see if it was you. So if it wasn't for the screaming, I
Wait.
would have never found you. Clockwork.
It
Wow.
would have been really awkward if it was like another murderer.
It's like it's just Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. It's like Jeff, I found you. And all he's like, just turn.
Like,
Just,
oh shit.
shit! It's Jason.
No, fuck. And then, like, all of a sudden you hear, like, immediately the Halloween theme playing.
It's Michael
It's like, oh,
fucking
fuck.
Myers. Which, by the way, that's like not
God
obvious
damn it.
foreshadowing at all for a later story we'll read where Jeff confronts. And isn't it like I get this? I'll just turn this away and we can continue. So it's Tiki, Toby, and Ben, but isn't it like Ben Drowned? I know the name of the original character is Ben, but in all these stories they call him Ben Drowned. So if I have to give
This is the first time where he's just called Ben.
if
Yeah,
I have to
fuck.
give to
Shit.
give this author any credit, it would be that she got that right at least. She's read
That
the
is
original Ben, I think, and realized that his name is Ben and it's not Ben Drowned, all caps. Never found you, Clockwork said, out of breath, smiling at Jeff.
Wow, you missed me that badly?
Jeff asked in a
Oh.
flirty way. Yeah, yes, Jeff, I did. Whoa. Clockwork said while her cheeks turned a light pink. She felt her face get hot, so she put her head down and looked at the ground. Ooh, Jeff could see what was happening, so he moved closer and hugged her, and her head started to come up from being in his chest. Her cheeks.
For being in his
For
chest.
me, it's Jeff Titty.
just looking at the ribs, just getting a good peek at those organs. Like,
Jeff had a big,
inside.
some nice, beautiful big hunk of
Galunka
malunky.
hunkas.
Hubba bubba, those
Gunga
spectros.
She looked down, and Jeff had a giant ass boner in his pants.
I saw Jeff take his shirt off in the shower, and Jeff is shredded.
I could balance on this.
He then started to blush as well. He looked at her, then began to gently touch her chin, and brought her face closer to his, and began to kiss her lips, softly. She was surprised a little, but began to kiss back. The past few days were killing her, being apart from Jeff. She wanted to confess her feelings earlier, but she was so nervous that when she built up her courage, he was leaving. Then they both stopped kissing passionately when they heard yelling from somebody they wish they didn't.
Here, I'll read.
Wait,
What the
can I
fuck,
see something?
Jeff?
Can I see something?
This is making me moist.
So, Clockwork is right now having trouble talking about her feelings because she wants to confess her love to Jeff, the person
his beautiful
he's
fish
actually
face.
making out with.
Yeah, it's tragic.
How do I tell him I love him as I'm making out?
I mean, for starters, stop making out with him because that's going to come out like more. Especially with his fish lips. Especially his beautiful fucking fish lips. Oh, no.
Fuck, Jeff.
I'm dying.
So are we all.
The voice they all knew too well. Okay, they spelled it's the wrong two. God damn it. Yelled.
All too well.
What's wrong? Wait, what's wrong, no, Tiki?
Ah, fuck off! I even know that one is
Oh
wrong.
no.
What's wrong, no, Tiki?
What's wrong? No. Well, maybe flat Earth theory is wrong. No. Anti-vaxxer are wrong. No. Turfs are grown known. There's a lot of grown known in this earth.
Oh, that's like our one turfs are bad per episode.
Yeah.
Jeff yelled, looking behind him, still hugging Clockwork tightly. She buried her face back into his chest.
You know what's wrong, you fucking asshole.
What?
Jeff yelled, confused. Tiki was now closer.
Why are you kissing, my girl?
Tiki yelled.
First, she's not your girl. Clearly, she likes me. And second, quit yelling.
Yeah, we're in the
Jeff
library.
yelled.
It's a love triangle. Oh no!
Yes.
It's a love triangular
It's a love triangle
angle.
into the Slumber Mansion.
What do you mean, she likes you? What do you mean, she likes you?
Tiki asked, now noticing her face buried in Jeff's chest, which made him even more angry.
She's hiding her head on the chest of Jeff like a fucking ostrich.
No, Jeff's like chest opens to like a secret compartment. She just has her head inside.
Another superpower for our boy.
I mean, she likes me and not you. You broke out far too many times.
Jeff yelled.
I never, broke her heart.
Tiki yelled. This made Clockwork angry. She slowly took her face out of Jeff's chest, and her face was red. Not from blushing, but from anger.
Yeah, it's just she took her head out, so like the compartment just slides open like
From the blood of the organs.
Fucking Iron Jeff.
Yes, you did it! You're a fucking lying, two-timing asshole! Clockwork yelled.
Oh,
He took
shit.
the knife Jeff threw at her earlier and got off of Jeff and ran over to Tiki Toby Naruto style and stabbed him right in the back.
Nothing personal, kid.
Wait a second. Wait, before everyone reads farther, does this take place in the voice box cinematic universe?
Oh shit. Good question.
Perhaps.
Maybe I
I
should
was
be a voice
thinking-
actor.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, to be honest. But really, I was thinking when I read the premise of Jeff waking up from amnesia and something like that, I thought, hey, maybe this is a continuation from the last story we read, Jeff's return.
That's true.
You know, he just wakes up from being killed and he just has amnesia, because why the fuck not? But I like your theory that this is part of the voice box universe. But that might be the case, that they are both the same universe.
Sorry. Okay.
Mm.
How does it feel to be the one being backstabbed? Don't ever say you didn't break my heart. You know damn well you did it! Clockwork yelled. She didn't even feel sorry for him anymore, and she laughed at the sight of him spitting up blood and trying to get the knife out of his back. Stop. Jeff walked over to Tiki and
At the
ripped the
sight.
knife out of his back, which made him scream out loud from the pain.
Ah!
Why did you take it out? Clockwork asked Jeff, giving a cute pouting face.
Hello?
What? Well, it's my knife, Uwu. It's a good quality one, too. He's not keeping it.
It's
Jeff
the only
responded.
talking knife I have!
You know how hard it is to find a talking knife.
Notice his chest cavity. Uwu, what's this?
Clockwork started to laugh and then walked over to Jeff and kissed him right in front of the dying Tiki. Oh my god! Right in front of Toby.
This is
Wow.
the death of Tiki Toby.
Bye! Clockwork yelled and then caught up to Jeff, who was walking away because he was trying to hide his face. She intertwined her fingers with Jeff's and started to walk with him to wherever they were heading next because they didn't plan this beforehand when they wrote this.
Guys, what the fuck?
It's like, hey, what the hell, man? Slumber's gonna heal me anyway.
Like everyone.
This is how Tiki Toby dies.
I want to believe that.
So, I've got a question. Do you like me, Jeff? Clockwork asked with a cute but devilish smile.
He was
What?
eating your whole mouth! Of course he does!
I battled your tongue for dominance. Please respond.
No. Hell yes, and I don't like you. I love you.
Oh.
Jeff
I mean,
responded.
with a voice like that, who can say no?
He sounds like fucking Ryuk from Death Note.
Give me apples.
Maybe he is.
I mean, they look the same, to be honest.
Jeff is played by Willem Dafoe.
Oh my god.
What a handsome face.
Just imagine Willem Dafoe being approached with a script for a Jeff the Killer movie. You want me to play what? This a mutated fish boy that stabs people.
A 13-year-old boy.
I'm just imagining that one Steve Buscemi match of hello, fellow kids,
How do you do
but with
fellow
Willem
kids?
Dafoe face on it. Hello, fellow creepypastas.
Fellow young people.
Wait till we get home. I'm doing things to you. You wish you had done to you by me long ago.
Oh, mama.
The fuck?
Jeff responded, blushing hard from what he
I haven't read
said,
this
trying to
yet.
be cool, but honest. Clockwork was surprised.
Cool.
See,
Ooh.
Jeff actually puts his hand on Clockwork's shoulder and goes, "Hey."
Hey. Into the Jeffiverse. Wait a second, isn't this like Back to the Future where since clearly Clockwork and Tiki Toby have to be like Jeff's parents, isn't this like Back to the Future where he was basically hating on mom?
Oh shit. We're actually
Oh yeah,
continuing that.
I forgot we established that time travel existed.
I forgot that you came up with that weird ass theory.
Yeah.
It was me, sorry. It was me. And I was joking about it, but it came back.
Clockwork was surprised, and her face turned into an even darker crimson than before.
Clockwork was Jeff's mom.
Wow, it's fucking dark red
Okay.
right now.
Clockwork responded, hiding her face with her hoodie. Then Jeff and what is it with these teenagers and hoodies? Like Jeff wears a hoodie. There's literally a
Yes,
They're
there's literally a character called Hoodie. Yet they're a teenager. They're about to
Dude, they're in the hood. That's what they're in the teenage hood.
Because they're easy to draw but edgy, okay?
Fair enough.
yeah, fair enough, to be honest.
Also, Hoodie was in Marble Hornets, so he gets a pass.
Yeah. Clockwork responded by hiding her face with her hoodie. Then Jeff untangled his fingers and wrapped his arm around her. He moved a little lower to whisper in her ear. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Sin!
Jeff.
Sin!
So, how old are these characters?
Hopefully over 18.
I mean, we have to figure it out ourselves, to be honest, to place it in the timeline.
Well, if this is in the voice box cinematic universe, then I think they're all like over 18.
Okay,
They are barely 18 in that one.
I was about to. Yeah. So what do you want me to do to you anyway?
Jeff asked in a sexy and flirty voice. Clockwork continued to look.
That voice
Clockwork
is just
continued to
amazing.
look down.
I'm
Jeff
glad.
stopped. You know what I want to see? I want to see that voice for Jeff reading like 50 Shades of Grey or something. Clockwork.
If I get 1,000 subscribers on my channel, that's when 1
Read the
bajillion
entire
subscribers
book.
on my channel, then I'll do that.
If I get more subscribers than T-Series,
Clockwork continued to look down. Jeff stopped her and himself from walking.
Oh, what's this?
What's this? Clockwork, what's wrong? Did I upset you? If I did, I did.
Wait, he calls her Clockwork and not by like.
She doesn't like being called that. She'll like kill
Natalie,
you
or
if you do.
whatever is her name
no,
was.
she's the
Lucky.
girl. She
Yeah.
used to be known as Natalie, but that'll change. When, yeah,
Okay.
We got actual lore. This is the reason we got him.
Oh
You know?
yes,
We
there
got
is
actual
lore.
lore of this. We got actual answers.
oh, there's lore.
All of this lore. The creepypasta cinematic universe is expanding. Clockwork, what's wrong? Did I upset you? If I did, I didn't mean to. Because that sounds like Jeff.
Jeff asked, worried now. She still
Oh
didn't
my god.
She still didn't bring her head up. This made Jeff worry even more. Then she slowly brought her head up and she was crying. This made Jeff really wonder if he did something to her.
What's wrong?
Jeff asked, wondering if he caused this somehow.
He's a caring
I
person.
feel like Sticky isn't really dead, and he's going to be coming after you to get rid of you forever, and then I'll be forced to date him again. But I don't love him. I love you, Jeff, and I have for quite some time. It's just whenever I built up enough courage to tell you, you were either leaving or I couldn't find you. So that made me think for a while that you didn't want to talk to me, or you were trying to avoid me.
Clockwork said, wiping away some tears. Jeff was speechless, didn't know what to say, so we hugged Clockwork and started to cry a little as well, which...
How? He doesn't have any
I was
eyes.
just about to say that, which this is a surprise, because Jeff usually doesn't show his feelings, and that made everybody think he has none to show. Clockwork wiped away his tears and kissed him passionately and backed away slowly.
Yeah, Jeff is actually a nobody.
I
for
mean,
Kingdom Hearts.
he looks.
But they're angry
doesn't have
because they
any
don't have
emotions.
emotions.
Yes. Fucking love Kingdom Hearts. So fucking dumb.
It's like, yeah, I'm not allowed to show emotions, and that makes me very sad.
Yeah.
He does look like one of those basic nobody enemies. Like you know the ones I'm talking about. The ones like they're
Of course,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
I never really played any of the games. I just know about
Yeah,
stuff. I've seen like some places.
Jeff is one of the enemies you find when you go to like the Little Mermaid Kingdom.
He's got a fin.
He took over Atlantis.
Jeff's the main antagonist of Aquaman
Oh my
2.
God.
oh.
That explains why Willem Dafoe's in it.
Yes.
Aquaman 2, Fish Harder.
Fish hard with a vengeance.
You make me so crazy for you. I love you so much, and I can't really put it into words. And I'm willing to bet I'm the first person in a long time period you've shown your feelings to. So that lets me know you do truly love me.
Well, there was this kid called Jordan that made me cry too. He was putting a gun inside my mouth, and it was a kinda cute but kinda sad moment.
Yeah, he was kind of a bitch back then.
Clockwork said, smiling a cute grin, and not her devilish grin, but a sane human being
Same
grin.
human being
Wait,
grin.
She's
what?
not human
It's just-
anymore.
Human being, like it's what? No, human being. It's 2 words. You don't. It's not like Spider-Man. You put the fucking hyphen in. Human being. Jeff smiled back and picked up Clockwork and ran to the destination he had finally settled
Final
on.
destination.
We are
No,
killing everyone in this love motel.
Did he like give Clockwork a piggyback ride or something?
Oh, it's kind of cute.
No, he's carrying her around in a backpack like she's Yoda. Remember?
he's like, let's
No,
go
like, it's
fuck,
just-
and just carries her and runs away. Where are we going?
Clockwork asked, starting to blush.
You'll find out.
Jeff told her and started to slow down.
Are we here?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Just, are we there yet? But instead of ice,
God, are we here?
instead of
I'm
ice
thirsty.
cube-
I want a latte.
I need to go to the
Don't make
bathroom.
me turn this car around.
Don't make me turn this knife around.
Jeff responded, looking down at her and starting to blush. Wait, how does Jeff blush?
He has done a quite a bunch
What would
of
that
times.
look like? His skin is like bleached white. How would that like? What does it even look
Clearly
like?
it turns gray. Clearly it turns
It's
gray.
like asking what happens if you choke a Smurf.
Oh God! I was just about to make that joke. You beat me to it. What color does a Smurf go if you choke it? Find out next time as we continue this garbage. Because he never let anybody into where he lived, and now was going to let her stay and do whatever he wanted to her, and she wouldn't mind. He walked in the door, he got on the floor, he did the dinosaur, and through the hallway, then slowly opened up a door leading into a pitch dark room Wait, they've done the hyphen, but there's like a space after it. He walked in the room. He knew exactly where he was going.
I'm glad you do, because we sure fucking don't.
Clockwork was just waiting for what
He has night
was to
vision.
come, Jeff, and she couldn't see anything because she was blind in one eye, and she could feel Jeff's body heat, and that made her feel safe. Then she was put down onto something soft, and she instantly thought.
I'm on his bed, and he's right above me.
Then she felt Jeff's hand touch her cheek, then his lips touched hers, and they began to kiss right back. Oh, jeez. She wrapped her arms around him, and
I'm like getting voice box flashbacks.
she wrapped her arms around him. She wrapped her arms around him and slowly pulled him down until he was right on top of her. She could feel Jeff was slowly pushing his hand up her side and pushing her shirt. Oh, God.
Oh,
Jeff! Oh, yeah!
Can I narrate this last part?
If you want to, please.
Why not?
This is your fault.
His hands were cold and warm at the same time somehow.
What's hot and cold? What's hot yet cold?
Katy Perry.
Cold yet hot.
Jeff's dick. She was glad there was no lights on because he was ugly as fuck. Because he would see her face and see how dark red it was. Then she felt his hand start to grab her boob and squeeze it tightly. She let out a small moan. Oh, Jeff! Jeff began to squeeze harder and kiss her even more. She was overcome by pleasure by just a boob squeeze.
Yes.
She let out another moan
So that's how it works.
and slowly pulled away from his lips. She could still feel the heat from the kiss. Then Jeff kissed her lips quickly.
It started
and then
out with a
started to
kiss.
her
How
neck.
did it end up like this?
And then it
It was only a kiss.
Jealousy.
It was only a kiss!
How did it end up like this?
and then started to kiss her neck, and then inch by inch down her breasts. So this was my first story on Wattpad. If it's good, I will try to make more. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Mackenzie.
No, remember, with the amount of explanation points, it's more like, so I hope you enjoyed!
Oh god, I just see the one comment.
We have
So,
this before
From
me.
username, goat_2_sleep_666. This was so good. I would love to see more of this, please.
So this story makes me want to disassemble my body.
I got a boner
Please
from
don't.
it. It made me moist.
I got my pee-pee rising up.
The story made me moist.
So I'm kind of curious. Like, well, this was wonderful for a Valentine's Day episode.
This was a learning
It sure
experience. It's
I think we all learned something about ourselves today.
Yes. So,
yeah.
like, let me look around. Like, this author doesn't really have any more stories relating to creepypasta, but the author has Bill
They
Cipher,
listed to be continued,
and
Jeff the Killer
Peter-
X Clockwork, and it was last updated November 29th, 2018. And since then they've gone dark, probably because Tiki Toby realized that they'd badmouthed him in the story and he stabbed him to death. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Mackenzie, get on that.
Yes.
I
Always-
want to reread my favorite line from the story, which is, "Wait till we get home. I'm doing things to you you wish had done to you by me long ago."
Oh. Oh my god, I fucking missed that one. That's great.
Yeah, I struggled reading that one.
That was like
I was having a stroke.
I had to go yeah, I thought I was having an aneurysm. It's like what is this?
Jeff was having a stroke when he was saying that.
So basically,
Wow.
Sleep go to. Jeff, are you okay? Call an ambulance. I'm having a stroke.
Strong. I'm having a stroke. I'm having a crook.
Or maybe it's his brain dying because he's been away from the ocean for too long. He can't breathe oxygen.
Oh my god. So,
That's my last. He looks like a fist choke of the night, guys.
Yes.
Don't worry.
He
so
just starts spazzing out, flipping
He's up on the
everywhere.
deck in public.
So-
it would explain is SpongeBob a creepypasta OC as
Yes,
well?
of course. He's like the devil's favorite demon, remember?
Me to the bathtub!
Oh yeah.
So if we're gonna talk about like, things being canon and that sort of thing, and well, there's a few things about the story that are very obviously not something that Clockwork would do, but like,
Oh, do go on.
One of those being fucking Jeff.
yeah. So she,
No, please establish the canon from the word of the author's mouth. Please do.
yeah, I was just gonna say like, not that people can't make fan fiction or whatever, because like that happens and stuff. It's what creepypasta is, basically, is fan fiction, I guess, at this point. But like, if anything, I would say that like Clockwork and Toby, there's a point in time where Toby dies, like canonically, as like confirmed by like my friend Wade, and she's like around, I don't know, like 1920, and then she's kind of on her own, but she wouldn't date Jeff. Like she would probably, even just like having, intercourse in general would be very difficult for her.
Oh man,
but she
of
would,
course,
the only,
that scene. That's
the only person she would really trust was like Toby and stuff. But like, as far as, people, I think, feel like because she's a girl, they think that she's like gonna be like weak or something, or she like needs to depend on people, but she's really not. I mean, like, she's very independent. She's very tough. But she's got issues. Which is probably pretty obvious.
pretty obvious, yes.
Yeah, she kills people.
Exactly.
She replayed one of her eyes with a clock. Of course she has issues.
Yeah.
No sane person would do that.
Well, actually, when she like is like 19 or she gets older, she actually takes the clock out, and this is something I decided on a little bit ago, and she wears like an eye patch or something instead, because I feel like eventually that clock would like,
She's like,
fucking kill her.
This is a bad idea.
Yeah, rusted.
Why did I do this?
It'd start rusting up.
She got smarter, finally.
Yeah, she does. She, after like her fucking entire breakdown and shit, she does eventually start getting some humanity back, but when she kills people, it's more like because she does it so that she can like cope with all the bad shit that's happened, because she likes to imagine killing her parents over and over again.
I guess that's the point of revenge fiction, revenge fantasies. That's the whole point of a lot of these OCs. The revenge fantasy.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what else, other than, no, she wouldn't date Jeff. She probably wouldn't date anybody except Toby.
I think this has come down to it, because she's almost like, aside from Jane, there's not really a lot of Jane who's like
creepypasta waifus.
No, there's not a lot of like creepypasta OCs that are women. So I think some writers take upon themselves to be like, oh, I guess that means they gotta be the token love interest.
Yes.
I guess that means they gotta fuck every male character that moves.
Basically,
Yeah,
like, because Jane starts off as like the anti-Jeff. She wants to kill him, and then in later stories that people have written, they're fucking for some reason. Even now, like, even if like so many stories are, not good. To say the least, like, they lack consistency, because people just go, oh, I gotta take the token female characters, and they gotta have the sex.
They gotta make
that's what attracts them views, You
gotta put the Venus in the Vaguna.
Yeah, like it's kind of, I think it's like a trend of that.
Well, yeah, and you got to remember that a lot of these people, for the most part, are still like teenagers. So like they're
teenagers are just
incredibly horny.
Yeah, like some of the horniest. Like that's why Twilight exploded with popularity. It's like horny vampire, insert your own thingy story almost. Like, so it's like really.
That's really weird, because like Edward Cullen was the least horny person in the world.
Yeah, he was just emo. He wasn't.
He was a virgin. He saw Bella wear a khaki skirt and he got really upset because she looked indecent.
Because he could smell her.
It's written here Christian values.
But I mean, like, I used to like do like fucking smut role plays with creepypasta characters when I was like 14,
Ooh.
which is, it's kind of, I don't know what's happened to the creepypasta fandom. I think it's just sort of there now.
Yeah, I mean,
I think something that a lot of people, I think it helps a lot of younger people cope with like bad stuff because they write like scary stories and they make like scary characters and stuff.
And they
like,
write scary characters who kill the people that hurt them.
most of the time is that.
Yeah,
But I have the
basically.
impression that only a bunch of them do, and the others do it because the popular stories do it. So maybe there's not that much genuinity is the word for it. There's not much genuine feeling on the motivations sometimes.
Yeah, Jeff starts killing because he gets a weird feeling that we joked in the episode as being
Puberty.
just
Puberty.
just puberty, and that's why he starts killing people. But
Just being horny in general.
yeah, but some of these characters do have like genuine, like they start off by like maybe killing their parents or siblings, and then they get a taste for bloodshed, and they sort of just go from there. Because which is sort of the case with real life serial killers, because they start with like small animals and then make their way up to people eventually.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like there's something to be said about that at least. And that they get a taste for it, whereas the more popular ones like Jeff and some of these other characters, it is just they just snap one day out of the blue and they kill people.
Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Like Lou.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I cut you off there. Continue.
I was gonna say I'm actually pretty sure, from what I've heard, that the creator of Jeff the Killer actually used their name as Jeff too, and that's actually the case with me because my birth name is the same as Clockwork's and stuff. So it's been like so it's been like I've been worried about like employers and stuff and that sort of thing because of me writing this story when I was like 14. I've had like people come and like DM me and be like, "Oh, how dare you write about this? Like, you have no right to write about something like this." And it's like, okay, but this character was like kind of actually like a self-insert of myself when I was like 14 years old. So like, you can't tell me I'm not allowed to write about like some of my own experiences.
Oh, jeez.
This is the kind of
Is this
subject
the time
I was
that we-
feeling in Vasco.com. The reason
I
think a bunch of us from the start were a bit guilty of that. And the reason we wanted to get the authors in this podcast, because we want to get more people, We want to get... John mentioned VoiceBox. I have talked with the author of VoiceBox. We can get her. Or him. I don't actually know. I think it's her. I have not even asked her the name, But one of the reasons I wanted to get the authors in this podcast is because I'm kind of tired of some people just sitting on the authors because they were young and they wrote bad fiction.
Yeah, like I wrote a ton of like, although I didn't put a lot of it on the internet, I wrote a ton of like edgy stuff when I was a teenager.
I personally wrote several Pokemon, like edgy Pokemon creepypastas, and I put them on DeviantArt. I'm pretty sure they're not there anymore, but like that was ages ago, and I'm like,
yeah,
I've been in that
I at least have the fortune in that the website I put a lot of these stories up on was actually taken down because the admins got power hungry. They banned someone that disagreed with them, and everyone was like, bring them back, and the admins were like, nah. So they took down the website. So all of those like edgy stories were basically lost to the ether, and I'm like, well, thank you. Yeah, but like it seems pretty shitty that like you wrote something when you were like 14 and people are just kind of like, oh, grr.
Yeah.
It's like
for some reason, I mean, like, I can understand, like, if you don't like the story and think it's poorly written, I completely agree with you. It's not a very good, like, especially near the end, there's a lot of shit that doesn't make sense. But, like, at the same time, it's like I said, I was, like, 14, and I was writing it I, like, wrote the entire story in one sitting at, like, 3 a.m. because I was, like, super depressed and stuff. And Clockwork I just started drawing her in high school because she was just fun to draw. She always started out as a drawing.
Yeah, I
Fun
gotta
character
say,
to
like,
love,
as
to be
much
honest.
as like in the past I've probably been quite harsh on the story, I do love her design.
It is
I will
It's
say
kind
that
of
much.
cool.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you.
Like, it's really like Jeff looks like a fish. I don't really. There's not much to say about Tiki's design, but I was like, yeah, she actually looks pretty cool. It's like
Aw,
that.
thank
That's
you.
at least
Clock
a
eye.
unique, a unique idea instead of just the typical pasta thing of like they cut their face up a
I
bunch.
mean, she did,
So
but anyway.
there's actually like a bit of like style
Of
in
course.
her. Even if like
Aw.
there's something he did bring
Yeah.
up where it's like eventually keeping a clock in her eye would probably kill her. But he did say, "Oh, she takes it out later," so I guess that's fine.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have some ideas for her in mind that I've like thought about like myself. Like I haven't like talked to a bunch of people or like made it public because for the most part I don't like I try to stay away from creepypasta for the most part because it like brings back bad memories and there's just like I have
That's
I
understandable.
have people like bi-monthly like noting me on DeviantArt like, are you the creator of Clockwork?
I'm sorry.
It's like,
I'm sorry for being one of those people.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Like, I don't mind. Like, I wanted to come on a podcast because I don't mind talking about it. I kind of want to talk about it. It's just when, like, I just have so many people ask me, and it's like, like, if you heard about it, I don't know, it's probably true. Like, I still have her art, like, her original art I drew on my
I
DeviantArt
saw
account,
it. I
so...
was checking it just to make sure if there was some extra stories, maybe a link we can find for reading on this episode, maybe some pasta in the comments, but I couldn't find anything. But yes, one of the reasons the podcast is like this is because we wanted to make we know that these stories are bad. We know it, and teens writing are never gonna be super good. Maybe we can be surprised someday and find some Jeff the Killer story that is kind of good, but we're probably not gonna because we're going for, it's teenage fiction. It's gonna get weird stuff. It's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be flawed. It's gonna be kind of quickly done. It's like trend.
We all do pretty garbage things when we're
Because
teenagers.
if I can be honest, the
like,
people that write these things, they're not writing for an audience. They're writing for themselves.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I made Clockwork, I never thought that she was gonna blow up like she did. I mean, like, all I was doing was I was drawing art, and I was like best friends with my friend Wade, who made Tiki Toby, and like, and then he blew up, and because he was like, he's an amazing artist, and like he still is, and then everything just blew up. Like, it totally wasn't expected. And then when Mr. Creepypasta narrated my story, that was totally unexpected too. Like, I wasn't like asked beforehand or anything like that. It just happened.
Oh, jeez. That's
that man doesn't ask for credit.
Wow.
So we have a little few creepy leaks.
Yeah, I mean,
it was because a lot of people were asking for it after he narrated Toby's, story. And like, I remember when it first came out, I was like, holy shit, oh my god, holy shit. Like, my story is being narrated by Mr. Creepypasta, and I am horrified because it's like, there's my birth name, there's like the name of my school, like shit like that. And I was like, okay, this is bad. And I think I told him to take it down, but then I was like, I was too much of a pushover. I was like too nervous, so I just told him like, I'll think about it.
Well, you have reasons too. Right now, there's like a bit of an investigation behind him because he stole Kickstarter money and he doesn't ask permission for reading stories. You can join the creepy
this is just like more fuel to the fire in him being a scumbag because like he's just, I mean, I get that these stories are like basically public domain because they're like on DeviantArt or whatever, but like you should still like fucking ask for,
Yeah.
I mean, we are crediting. We just credited that fan fiction. We just told them that we put the link below. We say the name of the author. We even recorded the name just in case because we want to make sure that people find them. But we don't want people harassing them. I mean, we hope that doesn't happen because
even if you don't like really ask for permission, at the very least, credit, the author, credit like the story.
I mean, we wanted to do this podcast because we want just people enjoying this. We want people just to enjoy the badness.
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah. It's silly, but it's fun. It's like The Room. It's like Planet 9 from outer space. It's like
Or Dingo Pictures, anything by Dingo
Anything from
Pictures.
Dingo Pictures.
You is the Pope of
Ye
Fools.
Dinosaur the Killer.
Like video
Yeah.
game cater movies. Like we want our focus is just getting people to enjoy them in another way, not just being hateful because they are bad stories written by young people. And I think we said everything that's needs to be said about this because I don't know how long have we been recording. And I think we wanted to do an interview, and I think we got it anyway, naturally. And it wasn't a great conversation.
Yeah, I just kind of talk about myself a lot.
No,
Well,
that's
it
fine.
was
We
gonna
wouldn't,
be
have
that
brought, we
anyway.
wouldn't have brought you
That's
on if we
fine.
didn't want you to.
I mean, that's really all an interview is, to be honest. It's just like more of a free flow one. Instead of just Jimmy Kimmel going, so how did you feel when you did this? I don't know what Jimmy Kimmel sounds like. He's just like a go-to guy I can crap on.
No, you nailed it.
Really?
I have no idea, so I'm gonna say
I
yeah.
probably. Yeah, sure, why not? Jimmy Kimmel or someone, or that fat guy that started off in the UK and then the Americans took him in, James Corden or something. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do an interview. I'm Jimmy Kimmel the Killer. James Corden the Killer would be even scarier because he just he makes bad jokes as he's stepping, and you're like, please stop, James
James
Corden.
Corden the Killer.
Please get out of my house.
And then he Fortnite dances on your dead
Oh.
body.
The last thing you see as you're dying out is like him flossing over your body.
Defaulting. Jesus, default dancing.
I be flossing.
No, the worst one would be Ellen DeGeneres the Killer because she would lure you in and then just kill you in her own home.
Honestly, I would let Ellen DeGeneres kill me.
Honestly.
Yeah, same.
Same. That's like aside from being 80 and walking into a room with too many puppies and suffering a fatal heart attack, ideal cause of death, stabbed to death by Ellen DeGeneres.
Queen, how did you find my dream journal?
What?
I'm gonna get you expelled.
Mr. Alexis,
Jesus
this is the principal's office.
We'll have him expelled! Minus.
Rest your head. Dream.
Dream, dream.
Hit the head, not the sleep.
Dream.
Little bleep.
Does he actually say
Yes, he
little
does.
bleep? in the
Yes, he
movie?
does.
Oh god.
Oh god damn. Oh god.
If there's like anything at all anyone like wants to ask before like the podcast is over.
I think we got everything that we wanted, to be honest. I can't think of anything right now. You mentioned I think I had questions ready, and I think you naturally answered every one of them.
I just
So
have.
it's-
Oh, oops.
No, don't be like that. You actually did a good job in that case. You know
I
what
do have, like, one
changed?
question.
Okay, what do you got?
And I wanted to know if you're still writing.
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, so I sort of. I mean, like
Like not
I don't
not
write
creepypasta necessarily, but just in general.
I am still technically writing. I do have like quite a few stories for my own personal characters that are outside of creepypasta, and I have a close friend of mine. I role play with them very often, but it's more so like literate role play,
Oh, nice.
like kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
storybook fashion.
Oh yeah, I do text-based RPGs like that all the time, so it's like
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I am still writing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If I wanted to like make a better story, I could, but as it is right now, I'm very afraid because I'm worried about all the attention from creepypasta coming back
Yeah.
onto me.
I mean, if you ever feel
Yeah.
comfortable, it would be great to have you write a better version of Clockwork, and maybe we will be premiere it if you're comfortable with that. But just if you're comfortable. Again, 3 times.
Yeah, because I appreciate that. Because I was, I asked my friends about it, and they're like, maybe you should just like revamp Clockwork, but have her not be a creepypasta. And I was like, I might do that in the future. But for right now, I have no idea. I'm actually working on moving out right now, so
Oh, nice.
I've been like kind of busy and all over the
Cool, well,
place.
good luck with that.
Thanks.
Well, so
And that's about
Before
it.
signing out, would you like to promote anything? Maybe you can give some links where we can find you, because I know you you are active drawing a lot of stuff. You know, those cute dogs you do.
I do.
Or any advice to those inspiring authors?
Okay, so advice would always be to always take criticism. Like if someone's not being an asshole and they're just like saying, hey, you could do this and this would be better, just like be like, okay, and like try it out, expand your horizons and whatever. As for my plugs, where you can find me, you can find me Soft Boys, SOFFBOIS, on both DeviantArt and Twitter. And that's about it. I mean, I have a toy house, which is like a character thing where you store all your characters and stuff, and that's called Danae, so that's DNAII. And that's basically all where I'm active.
Well, pues, thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it, and maybe in the future you will want to come back and
awesome.
read anything else. You are welcome to come back, and we hope you have a great everything, to be honest.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, and I would love to narrate again, because it's really fun. I really like narrating.
Well, we have another story for today. Maybe we can